Boy, AI. Boy, that's going to be we talked about it. That's going to be, you talk about a death knell to radio. Well, radio talent.
And it's troubling for the music business.
Yeah, it is. Very troubling.
Yep.
Well, in fact, we're already seeing it if you look at social media.
There was one act in particular that had many, many live streams, was kind of on the charts, quote unquote, and it was total AI. And even the photos of the band members were AI created. It was all AI, and the public had no clue. Welcome to a podcast about music and entertainment. Before it all goes down the disposal, this is Circling the Drain.
Hey, welcome back to Circling the Drain podcast. It's the show that wants to try to keep the entertainment world and the radio world, all of that, from going into the garbage disposal. And I think we're kind of getting there. And my partner, right over here, Brother Jay.
Partner.
Yeah, how you doing, Jay?
Hey, I'm doing fine, partner.
Thank you, partner.
Thank you, partner.
I got an email from a young lady.
Young lady. What? So you're already attracting young ladies?
No, it's you. No, it's you. It's you. She wants to know if that is a wallet in your pocket or if you're glad to see her.
Oh, my God.
Going back to a previous podcast.
Yes, a little callback there.
And the guy that keeps us running, Jim McCarthy. Jim, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Well, we were talking before all the cameras came on and everything. We thought we'd invite you guys into this discussion. But we were talking about story songs because they used to be pretty popular in the music world.
Yeah, especially in the country music genre.
Oh, yeah.
But even in the pop world as well.
Well, we were just talking about the one that I liked. It didn't seem like you guys were as wild about it as I was, but The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. I always loved that song.
Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I understand. I wasn't a big...
No, I totally agree with you, though. I mean, I was certainly captivated by that song, even though the melody just kind of went over and over.
Well,
and over.
yeah,
and the song
was repetitious,
and it was 3 days long. Also,
yeah, it was very long, but it was a great
3 business days.
Yes, right.
But it had some great lines.
Absolutely. I mean, Gordon Lightfoot. Sadly, he passed away here. About a year or so back, and he was one of those artists that people seem to underappreciate. As is the case with many artists, I guess people in general, after he passed, people came out of the woodwork about how great he was.
Well, isn't that always the case?
Yeah.
That's always and why is that? I always wonder why all of a sudden records just take off when these guys, it was when like Eddie Van Halen died. Mm-hmm. The Van Halen catalog just went nuts.
Yeah, and
the best career move is death.
Yes.
It really is.
Remember when Michael Jackson passed?
Oh, yeah.
The thing went crazy with his records. But, that happened recently with Ozzy.
Yeah, it did.
Mm-hmm.
It really did.
The Black Sabbath stuff.
I think when people die early, Kurt Cobain.
Unexpectedly.
Jimi Hendrix.
Right. They're just,
the 27 Club.
Yeah. They're basically put up on a pedestal for sure.
Yeah, they are.
Janis Joplin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Jim Morrison. Yeah.
Brian Jones of the Stones.
But it seemed like, there were a bunch of them there in the 60s and early 70s, man.
Van Gogh.
Yeah, Van Gogh.
Yeah, he Van went.
He
Van
went. That was very good. In fact, he started my late friend Phil Valentine started on his show. If anybody wasn't quite listening as closely as they should, he'd always call them the Van Gogh listeners. Oh. And for those that don't know the Van Gogh story, he cut off an ear and didn't he send it to a lover or a girl that he was...
Yeah. Didn't quite work out.
That's kind of...
He didn't see that he was friend zoned.
Yeah.
she put him in the friend zone.
Yes, she did.
Yeah. We can still be friends.
That's right.
But there's so many great story songs out there. One guy that was really good, I thought, in writing story songs was Guy Clark. What a great,
Homegrown Tomatoes.
Yeah, Randall Knife about his father. Very, very good songs.
But you guys aren't the first people that talked about the need for the story song, the concept of the story song to make a comeback. My brother is of the same opinion.
Well, we're right there with him.
Yeah.
Right there with you, bro.
Yeah.
But the songwriting industry and the whole music industry is like, even Neil Thrasher talks about AI being the best co-writer right now, and that's going to be a thing.
Boy, AI, that's going to be we talked about it. That's going to be, you talk about a death knell to radio. Well, radio talent.
And it's troubling for the music business.
Yeah, it is. Very troubling.
Yep.
Well, in fact, we're already seeing it. If you look at social media, they're putting out a lot, and especially like on Facebook, I noticed it more so than any other. They're putting up AI images that aren't real, and they're also putting stories to it that
are BS.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're not even true. There's one out now that says there's going to be a big 2026 tour with Stones and Springsteen and
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, all these acts are getting together, and I'm thinking
That's not happening.
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen.
I always thought like a good collaboration would have been with Eddie Van Halen and Ricky Skaggs.
That would have been.
I think I put the picture up, and I think you commented on it.
Yeah.
As well as Mike Fussell.
Yeah.
He was a diehard Eddie Van Halen fan. I said that would have been a collaboration just for us nerds.
Well, yeah, it would. And you talk about two guys that can play.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love Ricky Skaggs. I mean, that dude
can play anything. It's got strings on it. Son of a gun can play.
Yes, he can. And plus a big Beatles fan.
Yeah.
Big Beatles fan. In fact,
Really?
he always wanted to when I met him, he wanted to get together with me and talk Beatles, which I always will with people.
Well, you know what? Maybe we got to bring him on the show.
I think that would be great.
Let's talk the Beatles.
Yeah, let's talk Beatles,
Let's do
Ricky.
it.
Yeah.
You know, getting back to AI with respect to music, I'm sure you guys have seen and there have been a couple of them, but there was one act in particular that had many, many live streams, was kind of on the charts, quote unquote, and it was total AI. And even the photos of the band members were AI created. It was all AI, and the public had no clue until they came out. That sounded weird.
Yeah, it did.
Until they made themselves, public in the sense that, hey, this is all BS. There are no live musicians here. This is all totally AI.
Well, that's kind of a sad thing with music for me right now. And I was just thinking about this the other day. When you listen to a lot of the records from, I'll take Dave Clark 5, for example, Glad All Over. If you listen to that song, I mean, it's got power, but it's not perfect. There are mistakes in that song. But the sound of that record, I think that's missing in today's music because everything's so damn perfect now.
Well, and when Jimmy Bowen came along into Nashville, when I worked for him at MCA, brilliant dude. He brought the whole digital thing to Music City, and got him off of analog and got him off the tape, and the community, the old guard, if you will, just went ballistic, claiming that kind of what you're saying, that it became too pristine, too clean, too cold. It lost its warmth.
Well, with country music, I don't know. It didn't bother me as much because I did like some of the production on Jimmy Bowen's. I thought he was a great producer.
Absolutely, the guy was brilliant.
Yeah, because Waylon's career, when he got a hold of Waylon had been sticking with the same sound for so long that it kind of lost its allure. And then when he did Will the Wolf Survive with Jimmy Bowen, that was a great record.
Great album in his version of that song.
Yeah.
Just kicked butt, man, with the mandolins, that hot mandolin lick in there. Yeah.
But with rock and roll music, I think a lot of the best rock and roll music was done in the studios. And like I said, Dave Clark 5 is a great example. Glad All Over. If you've never heard that song, if you're a youngster out there, listen to the song and listen to the energy that record had.
That's the word for me, energy. I mean, you go back to a lot of that old Rare Earth stuff, man. Just sizzles.
Well, even the Beatles, the Stones.
The energy on those records, just sounds like, hey, and I'm sure it was, they just all piled in a studio and, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And, and away they went, man.
Yeah, and Dave Clark was not the greatest drummer. I mean, I think you can back me up on that. But
Well,
there was something about his sound that was.
People will say the same thing about Ringo.
Oh, Ringo was perfect for the Beatles.
He was absolutely perfect. And the thing is that, and Greg Bissonette identified this. He says, you take the music out of, and you just listen to the drums on any Beatles song, you could tell what it is. You could tell what song it is.
Yes.
He was that good in terms of making it identifiable. And you could say a lot of these guys came up with their own sound. Alex Van Halen, for sure. You know, you could tell who's playing. You could tell Neil's playing. You could tell just a lot of guys are for most drummers, they don't really come up with their own sound. But I will say, I did when I had to play with the Huey band a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I wanted to put a click track just to, because they had different like tracks we were playing with, but I wanted to have the actual music as a reference when I was practicing.
Right.
That was a chore because those guys didn't record with a click most of the time.
Yeah. Well, when you try to, because I have a friend, Todd Austin, who is known as Toddzilla in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Great guitar player. He was playing with a Prince tribute band, and they were really good. But he said, man, trying to replicate, he said that dude was a brilliant guitar player.
Yeah.
And Todd also was a big Van Halen fan.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who Todd kind of reminds me of is Prince, a combination of Prince and Van Halen.
Right.
That's the kind of sound that I think he brings out.
And my point being is that with those old records, here they are having a lasting impact, almost standards.
Yes.
You know, cross, not genre, but, you know, generation, multi-generation hits. Don't Stop Believin'. What are the Don't Stop Believin' being written today? You know what I mean?
Oh, exactly. And I think one thing that's hurting it too is the concert prices.
Right.
Because when we were growing up, it didn't cost that much to go to a concert.
$7 or $8 maybe.
And you were in, but nowadays, I mean, you're talking, it's getting up to $500, $1,000 to go to a show.
Yeah, I mean, what, McCartney here in Nashville?
Oh, man.
Over $1,000 just to, of course, a smaller venue as well. That affects things.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I think that's what's kind of killing rock music right now is that where are the kids going to get their inspiration from if they can't afford to go to these shows? Because a lot of the musicians that we really dug, like Van Halen brothers, for example, they didn't grow up wealthy.
No.
And they wouldn't have been able to, put together $500 to go to a show.
They also grew up in an age and a time and a location that was lightning in a bottle.
Oh, was it ever?
Yeah.
And talk about perfect.
Yep.
I mean, getting David Lee Roth, getting Michael Anthony.
Just the Sunset Strip that whole night.
Oh, it was. And the sad thing about Michael Anthony, I think that guy gets he's kind of like Ringo. He gets a short shrift. People say, well, he wasn't that great of a bass player.
Yeah, he was.
But
very underrated.
He was underrated. But what he really brought to the band was the sound, a vocal sound, because David's vocals would have really sucked without that high Michael Anthony.
Yeah.
Well, kind of like Buck Owens and Don Rich.
Exactly.
After Don Rich sadly, was killed in that motorcycle wreck.
Right.
I think he was like 34 when he passed. Buck Owens' career was never the same.
No, it really wasn't. He added a lot to his sound.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of, but I wish, it's not that I want to go back so much, but I think they're trying too hard to make every record just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And perfection doesn't always mean the greatest musical ever heard. Sometimes you take Deep Purple's Made in Japan, for example. That was a great record.
Mm-hmm.
And there were no overdubs. No overdubs done at all. And you can hear mistakes in it. Blackmore makes mistakes in it. In fact, Blackmore used to drive me crazy because he never replicated the total solo he did on Highway Star, which was one of my favorite Deep Purple songs. But he always screwed around. I think he's a great guitar player, but it was like, play the solo like you recorded it. Come on.
Well, when it was recorded, it was probably just free form, and trying to recreate that on any given night. Kind of tough.
That's true. And plus they recorded it in a hotel.
Yeah.
Which is how they came up with Smoke on the Water.
Live albums to me, way back when, just the sound of them, the I don't know, just the audio quality of a lot of live albums way back when. I never really liked live albums for that reason until Elton John's 11-17-70.
That was a great record.
Where they just kicked ass. 3 guys, man. Dee Murray on bass.
Oh, yeah.
Nigel Olsson on drums. I had dinner with Nigel Olsson.
Did you really?
Way back when. Anyway, and then, of course, Elton on piano. And there were mistakes in that. I mean, it was live at, I think, the Troubadour in L.A.
Yes.
Is where that was recorded. And just, going back to the word, energy.
Yes.
I mean, the energy and passion. I mean, Elton was smoking back then.
Oh, yeah, he was.
I think that was his best period from about 70 till about 74, 75 when he started the Caribou album with all the drugs and stuff is where he just kind of, started to go downhill. But Madman Across the Water, Tumbleweed Connection, Honky Chateau.
My favorite.
Just great stuff.
Oh, he did.
And again, it was all about just the passion and the energy of those albums. And I don't know, I don't sense that in some of the newer stuff now. And of course, things are now so electronic.
Yes.
That kind of, for me anyways, a turnoff.
Well, they also overdub now. I mean, if there's a mistakes made on a live show, they'll overdub. Now, Van Halen's last live record, Tokyo Dome in Concert, they didn't overdub anything on that because their mistakes and plus Dave's voice, nowadays is not stellar.
Yeah, did you guys watch the Billy Joel documentary that came out recently?
No, I've yet to see that.
I have yet to see that.
Oh,
No.
it's incredible.
That's what I hear.
Is that a Netflix thing?
It might be Prime or Netflix, one of the two.
Yeah.
But, just following his career and everything, getting back to story songs, Piano Man.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Billy Joel, a number of his big hits were story songs.
Oh, yeah. The Entertainer. What a great tune.
Italian Restaurant.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Entertainer was an angry song because he's like, we're getting ripped off.
Yes.
Let me write about it.
Well, see, I like those.
Yeah.
I kind of like the tunes where people take, David Allan Coe had one that I
Boy,
liked.
he did a lot of those screw you mentality songs.
Yeah. Sense of Humor was a good one.
Yeah.
But
Good stuff comes when you're pissed off, man.
But it does. But when he wrote one that I loved, it was kind of directed toward the music industry, and he dedicated it to Bob Dylan, was called Castles in the Sand.
Yes, I remember.
And that was and talk about a great story song. And we'll have this guy on with us, actually. The guy that wrote The Ride, where he meets the ghost of Hank Williams.
Yeah, David Allan Coe. With the big hit on it.
Yeah, but it'd be Gary Gentry. He's a great songwriter and has written a lot of, but we'll have him in.
Yeah,
he had a lot of great story songs like 1959.
Yeah, John Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah, some good stuff.
Yeah,
so
he really
looking
did.
forward to meeting him.
Oh, yeah, he's a cool guy.
It's funny because I think the allure of a story song still exists, especially amongst the young population. Believe it or not, like my daughter, who's still a teenager, she's 19. She was into a play. She's very big into Broadway shows, especially contemporary ones. They were very big into Hamilton.
Yeah.
But it really kind of piqued my interest when she got into a show called Dear Evan Hansen. And the music in that is really good.
Yeah.
And of course, Broadway plays tell a story, and the musicality of them help to tell those stories. But it was, so there's something there, that if you're a songwriter in town, give it a shot.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you who another guy that did a great job with story songs, and you guys may not agree with me, but Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
Great story songs.
What a
out
good
of that
dude,
guy.
too.
Oh, I know. Just, I had a friend of mine, or it was actually a friend of my father's. He had a rock station in Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
And Alice Cooper played, he was about there were only a few bands that came through my hometown of Wichita, and Alice played there every year.
Right.
And this guy he took every act out for dinner and had a lot of interesting stories. He said Alice Cooper totally blew him away because he said, I go to pick this guy up and I'm expecting a real freak show.
Mm-hmm.
He said he was like Fred McMurray, My Three Sons.
Yeah.
He said he was just very straight down drank a lot of beer, but he said very normal. Nothing like what he was expecting.
Well, Budweiser was his sponsor back then.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and I think he personally kept Budweiser in business the way he
for
drank.
a long time.
Yeah,
He was a practitioner.
Yes, but it
was kind of like me at Jack Daniels. I drank so much Jack Daniels that when I went to visit the Jack Daniels distillery here in Tennessee, they had a new walkway that they had just put in, and I swear to God, I probably paid for that.
Well, when you walked in there, it was like Norm on Cheers. It's like Johnny. Hey,
thank you for keeping us in business for so many years. That was the worst thing. Whenever I quit drinking, I think they quieted the blues at Jack Daniels. They said, "Oh man, he's
oh no,
we've lost a customer.
We lost Johnny."
Yeah, Alice now all totally Christian. And
teetotaler.
Straight. Yeah.
Well, hey man, good for him.
You're not kidding, man.
Yeah, I saw him at Ascend Amphitheater when he, here in Nashville. I guess it's been a couple of years ago now. And, still entertaining as can be with all of the theatrics and whatnot,
Well, he's brought back the old band too, which I'm glad because I've missed that band, to be honest. I like the other musicians he's had, but it didn't have the magic that those guys had together. And so now they brought it back with the Revenge of Alice Cooper. So I'm anxious to hear the whole album. I've heard some of it.
He'll be here next month with Judas Priest.
Yes, he will.
At First Bank.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the venue that's impossible to get in and out of.
It's actually not that bad. Have you been there?
Yeah, the last time I was there, I sat there longer than I wanted to, trying to get in and out of there. It was just one lane they had, to get in and out of there.
I just Uber. In and out, man.
You're the smart man. Yeah. So that's why Jim is our guy here, because he's really the brains of this whole thing.
That's right.
And that's troubling.
But we talk about venues. We used to have a place here called Starwood.
Oh, yeah. Saw many great acts there.
Yeah, it was, I had a great time down there. But trying to leave that place, because it was always...
it could be a challenge.
Oh, it could be. And plus, everybody was
Murfreesboro Road.
Yeah, then they were inebriated, a lot of people.
That is true.
Yeah, don't get behind the wheel if you're...
when did they build that place? That was before I moved here.
Oh, man, that had to be the 80s.
Well, I moved here in 85, and it was here then.
Yeah, it was rolling by then.
Because the amphitheater, I guess they were one of the first model amphitheater that came out, because the amphitheater model took off in the 90s. Because we had in Hartford, Connecticut, we had the big amphitheater up there. It's, it was like the ctnow.com amphitheater. It was initially called the Meadows. And, it was a ctnow.com, Meadows Music. It was like such a mouthful to say on the radio.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. I'm hearing rumors that they're trying to revive Starwood.
Really?
That'd be kind of cool, because I enjoyed Starwood.
I don't know if I don't know is there anything in its old location now? I haven't been out there, Antioch. I haven't.
No, I haven't either.
Yeah, I don't know if
it's not a desired place to go these days.
It can be a little rough. Yeah. But, the story songs, many of them also seem to transcend genres.
Yes.
The Gambler, that thing was played everywhere. And the same thing with Marty Robbins' El Paso. That was a big pop hit as well back in 1960.
Well, and Kenny Rogers had another one called Lucille.
Yeah, Lucille and Coward of the County. I mean, he really rolled with those story songs there. And let's face it, those kicked his career into another gear. I mean, he was just kind of languishing with that whole first edition thing.
Oh, yeah, he was. Country music really, Larry Butler should be
the producer
really commended for bringing him back from.
Yeah. And then, that period there in the mid 80s where Kenny Rogers kind of sort of announced that he was a pop star.
Yes.
He was doing a lot of that lush orchestra laden stuff, Lady and all.
Oh yeah, when he got with Lionel Richie,
and then kind of dissed country radio to a certain degree.
Yeah,
and there were a lot of country stations. I remember it well. It's like, hey Kenny,
don't you remember us?
Yeah, see this thing here, Yeah.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah.
We got something for you, Kenny.
Right. So he did himself no favors doing that, but yeah, Kenny Rogers. I got to be around Kenny a bit. I was stage managing a TV special that was filmed in Branson, and Kenny Rogers was one of the. Well, he was kind of a presenter on the show, and teleprompter and all that stuff at a podium. And they ran into some technical problems. I mean, it was a live taping thing with an audience and whatnot.
Yeah.
And Kenny Rogers, I went and, they said, "Hey, we're ready for Kenny." So I run back to the dressing room, Mr. Rogers, time for, I didn't sound like that, but you know what I mean. Hey, Kenny, we're ready for you. So
like an old school announcer.
That's right.
That's right. Try
Hey, Mr. Rogers.
Smoke your lucky strikes.
That's right. Yeah, smoke them if you got them. But so anyway, I grab Kenny, and we go into the wings there, and we're waiting, and then they're like, "Oh, hold up, delay." So I'm standing there with Kenny. We're shooting the breeze a little bit. And then finally, the delay got a little longer, and, we're keeping this clean, but he probably said more F words waiting on, what the F is taking so effing long, F. He was going ballistic. It was like Tony Montana in Scarface, but yeah, he grew very, very impatient. About what was going on. And finally, when everything was clear, he pops out on the stage and, good evening. And just missed, he turned it on,
See, that's what I love about people. There was and I won't say who it was, but I was told about someone that was on local TV here. It was a newscaster, female. And they said that,
there was a town.
and that they said that she was just blowing a gasket. I mean, cussing everybody out, yelling. Nothing was right. And they were counting her down. And when they got to where she was on camera, good evening.
Yes. I'm Little Miss Sunshine. Yes.
Now, see, I couldn't do that because I remember when I worked with Phil Valentine, if I was really having a bad day, and Phil would always do this, and I think he did it on purpose because he wanted me to lose it on the air. But he'd go, "Everything all right in there?" And instead of going, "Everything's great, Phil, we're having a great time," instead it was, no.
Who's asking?
But Branson, Missouri, that's another. I remember Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash had I think he said this to his daughter. I read this in a book that Robert Hilburn did on Johnny Cash. But apparently, when Johnny Cash went to Branson, come on in, dude.
Come on in, man.
Because you're going to be on the show on our next podcast. Yeah, we're doing one right now. But Gary Gentry has joined us. He's going to be on our. He's good to see you, brother. But we were talking about story songs. This guy actually wrote some great ones.
Yeah, I know some classics.
But I was going to tell you about Johnny Cash with Branson, Missouri. He apparently told his daughter, he said, "You know the difference between Jurassic Park and Branson, Missouri? Blue hair."
So which daughter was that, John?
I think it was Kathy.
It was a Kathy?
It was a Kathy, that's right. John Carter wasn't there.
But again, getting back to the crossing over to different formats and stuff. I mean, story songs have more of a propensity to do that than, any other types of songs.
Oh, I think
certainly,
so too.
Because, people from, whether you're a rock fan, pop fan, country, bluegrass, whatever it may be, you can still relate to these story songs.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Regardless of the quote-unquote style of the song itself.
Can't forget about Harry Chapin, man.
Oh yeah. The master.
He's the master.
Cats in the Cradle. What a great song.
Right.
WOLD.
Oh, yeah. That was a great song.
WOLD.
I'd forgotten all about Harry Chapin.
He had a lot of good songs.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I guess that's the only death that happened that didn't really have the effect, It kind of, his music maybe kind of, the Cats in the Cradle, of course, had longevity, but the rest of the songs are just, you got to really, like my wife introduced me to a lot of his music because her parents used to listen to it.
Wow.
And, we used to listen to it when we dated, when we got married and cleaning the apartment, and it just gets embedded.
Yeah.
And it's just good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like just about everything he did was a story song. Taxi.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one.
Yeah. How are you, Harry? So, But where are those types of songwriters? Again, Gary Gentry just walking in. He'll be joining us here in a podcast, and I would love to kind of ask him, what he thinks about, where is the new generation that has the ability or the desire, perhaps, to write those songs?
Yeah, we need more of those. Yeah, because there were such great writers.
Very true. But I mean, even. To be fair, a lot of the hits in the 80s, the rock hits and stuff like that, Jump wasn't a story song.
Not at all.
What kind of a song would you call that, though?
Jump?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
It's inspirational, believe it or not.
Well, I thought it was. Yeah. I thought it kind of, I understood it. That's kind of the way David Lee Roth had written it. Mm-hmm. That it's trying to tell you to jump and to go like say if you're trying to reach a goal of some kind, jump for it.
Right.
Or if you're trying to ask a girl out and you're afraid to, jump, make it happen. Even if everything goes wrong, at least you jumped. At least you tried to reach the brass ring, so to speak.
Like presently conceptual, I guess would be.
Wow, man, that's too heavy.
That's really deep.
Yeah,
I always loved what he. The story he told of what inspired him to write it. Mm-hmm. He always said that he was in his car in L.A. and that somebody was threatening to jump.
Oh, really?
Off a bridge. And he was telling
him,
go ahead, jump.
Have you read the book, the Brothers book yet?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good book. I was just surprised there were nothing about the Hagar years or anything of that nature.
Yeah, Alex is holding on to that anger.
Well, the Van Halen brothers, as talented as they are, they know how to hold a grudge.
I know.
They do that better than they do their playing.
I know.
They're very dedicated to that.
It's like, it's a double-edged sword with the sharper side of it pointed towards you.
Yeah.
Holding on to anger like that.
Yeah, it is. That's ridiculous.
But, Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer. It's kind of a story song.
Yeah, it is. Well,
Tommy and Gina.
And what was the other one that he had? He did, I think it was a solo of Bon Jovi, was it? Blaze of Glory, was that?
Blaze of Glory.
Yeah. That was kind of a story song.
Right. And there was a song that Mark Chestnut cut that was, I believe, a Bon Jovi song.
Really?
And it was a single. And we used to play it on the classic country stations.
Yeah.
And I'm drawing a blank on the title of the thing. But at the time, Chestnut said it was a mistake that he recorded that. But it still gets played, on classic country.
Yeah, there's some country covers that probably should never been done, as far as rock.
Conway Twitty, Slow Hand, what did you think of that? Or Heartache Tonight? Conway was...
Heartache Tonight was a little... I actually liked his version of Slow Hand. I thought it was okay.
The Rose.
Yeah, that's a little...
Yeah. Yeah, Conway was in that period there on Warner Brothers where he just was like Mr. Cover, cover man.
The one that really came to my mind when we were talking about this, and Gary, I'm sorry if you're a fan of this song, but Garth Brooks' version of Fever by Aerosmith, I couldn't get into it.
Yeah. Or what about Shameless? What did you think of that?
It was all right.
The Billy Joel.
It was all right. Truth be told, I'm just not a big Garth fan.
Yeah, honey, you and I've talked about that. Yeah. I am not either. I mean, I'm just really indifferent. I give him.
Well, I am too. It's not that I dislike him.
Right. Yeah.
He's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah. Yeah. That. But you got to give him credit there, though.
My gosh! I mean, the guy changed everything.
Yeah, 89, 90 when he came along. The pendulum started swinging back a little more traditional.
Well, I think he did what Steve Earle was trying to do. I think that Garth actually made the country music shows more of a rock event.
Yeah, true.
And crossed him over to an audience that didn't get into country music.
Instead of a guy just standing there wooden with the guitar, here's a song I wrote back in, bing, 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 bing. Well, okay, thank you.
Well, as much as I love Alan, as much as I love Alan Jackson, the only stage presence that dude has is the moving the leg.
Yeah.
He sold the sizzle and the stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Well, there are certain artists who can get away with that. I mean, George Strait just, stood there and smiled,
Well, Waylon Jennings, the first time I saw Waylon, I couldn't believe how entertained I was. And I thought, this guy never said anything to the audience.
Yeah, never said a word.
Never said. The only thing I think he said was hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, he was. He could entertain you just by being up there.
One night, Ed Hudson.
Well, come over here if you got.
We'll
have you on early. That's all right.
We got this man just standing here.
We'll put you on early because you're such a good friend anyway.
Well,
I got to tell a story before he gets on here. Yeah, I'll let you tell that.
Larry Butler's building, his building was next door.
Yeah.
He came in one night, and Ed Hudson, the engineer, said, "Hey, Gary, you always wanted to meet Waylon. Here he comes." Oh, boy. Yeah. He walked in the door. Hello. Shook hands. He went in the back. I went upstairs to co-write with a buddy. Waylon was in the studio, Larry Butler's studio.
Yeah.
And when I came down 3 hours later, Ed said, he's still in there. I said, what's he doing? He doesn't have the band. He didn't have any back. He's listening to drum beats and bass licks. And Ed said he does that. He was all about music.
Oh, yeah, he was. Waylon, it was very interesting because the only time I met him, and I really goofed it because for one, I didn't think he'd talk to me because I wasn't supposed to be there. This was a meeting that my father had with a gentleman that produced Waylon's record. In fact, Waylon, it was Al Carty. He used Carty Studios a lot. But they were going to build a big hotel for artists that would also have, staging to produce television shows and all this. And they really didn't think Waylon and Johnny Cash were supposed to be at this meeting. So when I get there, and I'm not even supposed to be there, my dad just said, do you want to come?
Yeah,
you can just sit in there and listen to everything. He said, I know you dig Waylon and Johnny Cash. So I get in there and Jesse Coulter's sitting across from me. And then June Carter's over here. I love June Carter because I thought this gal doesn't care about she doesn't care about any kind of decorum. She's got her feet up on the desk. She's wearing these slippers that are really, I don't know, they're gaudy. But what was really cool is Jesse Coulter, and man, was she beautiful. I mean, I couldn't take my eyes off this woman. But she was sitting there and all of a sudden, and you couldn't see the door to the outer office, but the door of the outer office opens and Jesse goes, well, there's Waylon. And I said, how do you know that's Waylon? She goes, I just know. And sure enough, in with a members only jacket, here it is in the middle of summer, got the members only jacket on, the cowboy hat on. There he is, Waylon Jennings. And it was very interesting to watch because I was more impressed with Johnny Cash because Waylon was so quick to sign his name to anything. Like, I'm thinking, I really don't know if these guys can pull it off, and they didn't because I knew that my father at the time was not financially where he could get this done himself. But Johnny Cash was really cool because he said, I'll have to look it over with my financial advisor before. And Waylon's just going, sign my name. But he looked at me and he goes, I know you from somewhere. And I thought, what do I say?
Yes, you
Yes,
do.
you do.
You do.
That's right. Where? I don't know.
Yeah, we were picking up some goods, if you know what I mean. Gave us sinus trouble. But yeah, it would be good to see the story song come back, like this gentleman wrote, and we're going to get into that in our
Next
future
episode.
next podcast.
Right.
We're going to talk about all the great songs he wrote. But I would like to see the story song.
I also got to say, in the 90s, Pearl Jam and Jeremy was a story song.
Yes.
Now that I think of it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like racking my brain. What did I grow up with, and what was similar to that? We talked about the Sullivans. I think before we started recording.
Right.
I can't remember the band that did that song. I'll look it up. But they wrote a song about similar to the concept of Saving Private Ryan, when the military would put 3 brothers just to keep them together, because of what happened with the Sullivan brothers. They all died on a naval ship, I want to say.
Right.
They stopped that practice. So, because I mean, 3/4 of their kids were wiped out in one fell swoop. And the band did a song about that story. So,
well, what I have here, Jim, it was a band called Carolina Spine.
that's right. Caroline Spine. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Caroline Spine.
Yep.
Yeah, 1995.
Yep. We'll turn your blue star to gold was a powerful line.
Mm.
Well, I tell you, and I just think about another one that was a story song with Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah.
Because when you listen to that song, when it's,
Tells a story.
well, and especially it was covered by the Mavericks. If you listen to their version of it, it's more of a, I don't know, kind of like a big band sound to it. Then you hear more of the story. Yeah, you hear more of the story. And I'm thinking, man, that's a heck of a story, actually. Because with Motley Crue, it was so, you're listening to the guitars.
Such a badass song.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
But when you hear I ask you to listen to the Mavericks version of it. It is really good. It in fact, I fell in love with it more than I did the original.
The Crue version.
Yeah, the Crue version. And I love Motley Crue, actually.
I will say Zach Brown does a good job with story songs.
Yes.
He has some
I would agree.
like presently, I guess we'll label them presently conceptual. But he's got a song that came on. We were doing a lighting job a couple of years ago, and I was 8 days away from my family. And I'm a former electrician's apprentice, so we have a multitude of businesses here, so including podcasting.
Really?
Yeah. So we went up there. We did a lighting job up in Cleveland area, and I'm away from my kids, my family, and everything like that. I'm listening to music, just keep myself, and you get into the rhythm of work. And this one song comes on, and it's going to be, if my daughter gets married, it'll be the one we dance to. But I was a sobbing mess.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, story songs, some of them can get to you like that.
Well, Empty Chair by Trace Adkins, if you've ever heard that one. It is really very well done.
there goes my life.
Yeah, Jimmy Chesney.
Yeah.
Yep, that was written by Neil Thrasher and somebody else who I can't think of. But he'll tell you, he's like, yeah, that was about my daughter. Blue eyes and bouncing curls.
Wow. Steve Earle actually wrote one about his son that passed away, Justin Towns Earle, called Last Words. Man, I can't listen to that. I listened to that one time, and that was it. I couldn't do it anymore.
Kelly Lovelace, he wrote the Brad Paisley hit Didn't Have to Be, that about the dad who became a stepdad.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful song. And then when I met him for the first time, I'm like, you wrote that? And he goes, yeah. And I said, you SOB. He kind of like reeled back. I said, you freaking got me with that one. I remember when I heard it. Yeah. And oh gosh, hits you right in the feels.
That's when you know you got a good writer, when they can make you.
Yeah. And the unfortunate thing is Neil even said, he says, recently he had said, I've written some of the best stuff in the last 5 years. It'll never get cut.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
So he was SOB. He was the same old boy, right? Right, Gary Gentry?
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I tell you, it's great to see Gary and I have never met, but I tell you, I was so excited. I'm Jay Harper, by the way. But Gary, I was so excited. Man, I played your records, man. The SOB, same old boy I've always been, man. I've always thought that was
stations wouldn't play it, so it was a little risky.
Yeah. No, well, man. Well, I can tell you, WINK, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, we played the fire out of that song.
Right. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
when we get to our next podcast with Gary, I'm going to have to tell you all a story about a song that Gary wrote that I loved by Johnny Paycheck called Drinking and Driving.
Drinking and driving that woman right out of my mind.
Well, I had so much trouble out of that song.
Yeah.
I will tell you, we'll tell the story when we get to our next podcast, which will be coming up.
Yeah, a little tease for you.
A little tease for you. But yeah, it was a battle because I love the song.
Oh, yeah.
But there was a program director. His wife was a big member of MAD.
Right.
Oh man, she gave me. Oh man, it was a battle, and I lost. I ended up losing. So we'll tell that story on the next podcast.
I think we should encourage the listeners in the comments. Make sure that any songs we're missing that are story songs, and maybe we can revisit this topic.
Yeah, please
I would
do.
love to.
And in fact, if there's ever anything you want us to talk about that you would like to let us know about, please do. Yeah. Please let us know. Comment to us, and we'll read them.
There we go.
A lot of people don't, but we do. We read them.
We read them.
It may not look like it, but we know how to read.
Yes.
Please.
Yes, us old radio guys do have another skill or two.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So skilled. we are so skilled.
Multifaceted.
Yeah. Underratedly skilled, but skilled.
We even know where to put our wallets.
Underpaid skill. Yes.
That's right.
we just don't really negotiate too well for ourselves.
Boy, that's the truth, man. Tell me about it. I needed an agent. I needed you back in those days.
I needed me too. I just didn't know anything. It took me getting into the sales game to be like, oh, that's how it works. You actually got to negotiate with people and understand your value proposition. But hey,
Well, shall we call this to a close, my friends? Absolutely. Well, Circling the Drain, we really appreciate you joining us. Circling the Drain with Johnny B, Jay Harper, and of course, Jim McCarthy. And we're going to be back next time you see us with this gentleman right here.
Yeah.
Good friend and a great songwriter, Gary Gentry.
Thank you. I look forward to it.